play some cards, yeah.
All right. We are back for another week of Shit Show. All right, this is the market analysis. Where are we? You might ask, what is going on? What's with all the lines? Blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about it. So, I will explain. I've talked about this trend line on SPX many times that unless you gap over it, you're shit out of luck. It wins. What do you mean? Well, it's still true. You can sail over it, but unless you gap over it, you get rejected. And that is ever since we lost it a few weeks back. So now what? Well, I'll tell you what. This is the 4-hour chart. And unless something miraculous happens, and this next 4-hour candle sends us up to here, which is always possible if this is a Larry Williams setup. Larry Williams, absolute legend. The setup is you get a huge sell, the next candle is inside, third one rips higher. Okay, usually that's on the daily. This is the 4-hour. So, what happened? Well, we got all-time highs. We got a shitty core PCE report that would have been, it was kind of a coin flip. Were the market makers going to send us or not? They decided to sell, go to the Hamptons. Anybody and their grandma who trades options sat here for hours wondering what the freak was going on, because premiums weren't decaying. We got that 105 short and then nothing. Absolutely nothing. Kind of like that Monday that was just special, right? So where are we? Well, look here. I've marked this orange line, ding ding ding, right there as the magnet. The magnet for what? The magnet for the current price action. What is that level? Well, it was our magnet back here until we lost it and didn't regain it, because remember this week just sucked, dude. It sucked. Even though we called the bottom here on Wednesday, it was not like, no one likes to trade this shit. You live for these candles though. So this is Powell. Then we spent a week doing absolutely nothing, grinding up to the trend line, all to come back to here. So last week was a mute week. Didn't accomplish anything but let the big boys rotate. And when you're trading rotation, it is pretty boring. It's more fun to trade the sky is falling or everybody we're going to the moon. Like this shit, just, it is what it is. I mean, we made the best of it, right? We caught Netflix, we had that QQQ swing that we started building on Tuesday, that we sold on Thursday, and that was the best play of the week right there. I mean, that's what we were supposed to do. And Fridays have kind of have a hit rate of being super awesome or absolute dog shit. Okay, so here's Friday, August 15th. Look at this pattern. Reminds you of this, doesn't it? So this is what we're gonna print in our minds. If for whatever reason, since futures are open on Monday and anything can happen in the shit show from now until Tuesday, unless we literally open up here, which is what the premiums are programmed to, maybe go up to this trend line and then shit the bed again, the other choice is just to shit the bed. And what happens if we do so? You see here, there's a huge half moon in the volume shelf, and I would think that, by the way, this white line and that white line is last week's range. We came not near either one. You had the 4-hour 200 that has served as support, and it's just crossed the FOMC announcement price. There is a gap here. I would think that we then go and fill this gap. Okay, bigger picture, what we did on Friday was obviously say bye-bye to our dear old trend line, and we came down and we bounced off the daily 9, which is bullish that we held it. But as you see here, this is the gaping thing. If you trade under Friday's low, you're feeling this. So put an alert there. I should probably take that alert off because I'm not doing anything with it. Yes, delete that. This could be a random bounce spot, but more likely, actually I'm gonna remove, it's not gonna bounce there. There's a couple of bounce spots, the daily 21 or the FOMC line right there. If neither of those happen, you're gonna go for this daily 50. And the Bollinger Band low is right there, and I do not like that Bollinger Band top curled down, because anytime it has done it, you know, you do get lower price action. But let's speak about this daily 50. We're in a huge uptrend, but the fact of the matter is we have not touched it since February 26th. Because we've gapped over it. I've covered this before during the whole summer. We haven't touched it. We actually haven't touched it since it was there. And price was at 6,000. So it's far surpassed that time and we're up here. So a test of this wouldn't be too bad. If you see this orange line, that's a magnet. This orange line is the other magnet. If it sails through there, God forbid, that's where you're going, right? I'm not calling for a complete meltdown and gap fill here, but I can see that something funky is going on, and it is time to mentally prepare for shit like these candles, right? To the downside. It doesn't hurt to like have some money stacked away to buy some time on some puts here, but we will know more Tuesday morning. As of right now, I think you get one move next week, and that's going to be NFP. And the president promised jobs numbers through the roof, which again goes against the reason why the Fed would cut the rates. But since he's trying to stack the deck, and the biggest carrot now, besides what's going to happen with the tariffs, are the Fed, that's what we're going to keep our eyes on. Okay, what's going to happen? Because Lisa Cook walked into that courtroom on Friday and never walked out, type of deal, right? As far as the tariffs, the US appeals court ruled them illegal, and that's what Howard Nutlick's sons are betting on. But Trump says, you know, it's going to be a disaster if we don't have the Supreme Court on our side here. So what can we look to? Well, I was just on the phone with Todd here, showing me the 3-day Bitcoin candle here. And unless we can crack, see that double bottom on these of the body right there, unless we're above that, we are probably going down. Now it's holding on for dear life. It did bounce. And here's the interesting thing about charts, right? You see, here's the bottom of the Bollinger Band. That's where the selling stopped and it bounced. When's the last time it did that? Well, it did that at the April low. Okay, that's all bullish. What's bearish as fondue is last time it crossed the 3-day 9 down, you had all your portfolios liberated, right? The wrong way. And that is a strong signal. So unless Big Mike wants to come through soon, and any hour is fine by me, this shit is going down. And it was looking pretty nice here with a little bit of a pop right here. New candle started, sold the whole last 4 hours, just like boom, like that. Gross. This Bollinger Band is tight, so we need some expansion of the Bollinger Bands, or we're literally gonna go sideways, and you can't trade that. So again, my approach for this week might not be the most exciting, but it is what I'm gonna urge everyone to do. Trade open and trade close, right? because most likely you're gonna do absolutely nothing until NFP as of right now. Now, let's look at the NAMO, because tech is the big question here. This thing has been sailing up. I don't think it goes much higher. It could, you know, they've been rolling into industrials, trying to keep that up, to prop the market up. So the NAMOs didn't do shit for like 3-4 days and will most likely roll over here. And if it does, because it's set up to roll over, unless again we get a freak show gap up, I wouldn't touch upside until we get a reading where this has, you know, we either get a substantial sell day or a couple, then we can start buying the dip. Okay, the VIX, they're selling ball, they're just compressing this so that people are kind of thrown off by premium. Some people think this is opposite the market. I think it literally prices in fear, and market is not close to a bottom here. Premiums are pretty cheap. The VIX 1D has been acting very, very, very strange ever since I started watching it here. It just loves to creep up, and even though the market's not selling, so very interesting. As far as the dollar, sorry to bring you the bad news, but ever since Trump got in office, he had, this is the craziest chart, he has sold off half of the previous administration's dollar relative strength gains. What do you mean? Well, I'll show you. This here is where the previous administration came in, ripped it up, went sideways, came in for a lower high, and then all we've done this year, and this has obviously helped the market tremendously, is the absolute annihilation of the dollar in record speed here, right? So, as we saw during Biden, that's what happened too. It still has that candle, that ghost that shows you what will eventually happen to it. Just kidding. But anyways, if they're gonna start bouncing the dollar here for a dead cat, the market's gonna sell off a little bit. That's probably what we're gonna do here short term, and then rip it higher, because they are going to bring the dollar down to 82. There's no question about it in my mind. So banks are obviously super strong, but are you going to be buying JPM over the Bollinger Band? No. So if the market starts selling, what do you buy puts on? The banks. Why? Because it is not often anything stays outside the Bollinger Band at all-time highs for very longer and keeps pushing higher. Okay, you will at least have a backtest of the daily 9 or the 21 or the 50 and point of control. So if you're a bear and you're looking for some honey with a daily stow that's maxed out, I would recommend you look at banks. If you're like, fuck that, we're gonna chop and then we're gonna rip into the full moon, which I'm kind of at right now, you would probably do well if you look over at what we've already been dabbling in, which is the QQQ stuff. Now, obviously, I'm on 3-day of everything because I was talking to Todd. Obviously, you still have this setup because we invalidated it and then we came down, and now we have a ugly situation here. But it almost smells like a fake breakdown. Obviously, if you take out this low, something else is going on. But an inverted head and shoulders, the question is then where does it start from? Because we've already had that double bounce. So I don't think that's what's going on. But if the market shows strength, I would think that tech names could do pretty well because they've been ass. That's not saying you should run to tech out of the gate, because that's a nasty ass 4-hour bear flag. Even though the stow is bottomed out, it can still keep on selling after it bottoms out. I'm just showing you an example right here. You've bottomed out the stow, you're at the 50 and the bottom of the Bollinger Band. You think you've had a deal, and guess what happens? It shits the bed further. Okay, so again, if the market holds and wants to actually build a floor here, then yeah, tech definitely, because it's not reached all-time highs yet. As of right now, all these tech earnings have served as exit liquidity. Rip it up, sell it off. Microsoft being the prime example of it. But nothing's changed, right? Friday should have been a stronger day. I don't like this rejection here, because that means that you're probably gonna go pretty fast down to lows, maybe by end of day Thursday, and then you got your NFP chance to rip it up now. That's if NFP is gonna be good. We have no clue. We gotta kind of see it. Here's the Nasdaq. You're coming into September with a sell-off, and then you got your FOMC, right? Okay. And post FOMC life, when people are like, what is going on? And all of that good shit. Here's this is not the sports calendar, but the SPX chart. I'm kind of digging here. Chop, 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 chop. You never give the bears what they want. You never give the bulls. You absolutely fry all premiums. You rip this into OPEX because everybody's been buying a bunch of puts. You rip it into OPEX and then you sell it off. Okay, and then the Santa rally starts a little bit early this year, by the way. That's what I think. That's what's gonna cause most people to be left on the sidelines. IVV, same thing here. I mean, what a grind up. The market is on a sell signal on it. Okay, it's on a sell signal on the daily IBV. I'm waiting for a sell signal, possibly the trigger here, then on SPY if we lose this low. So I'll be looking at that on Monday. Another thing that could be gangbusters into if NFP is up is Avgo's earnings. You could catch maybe a double whammy on it, or a double whammy to the downside too, but it's fresh of all-time highs right there. I'm thinking maybe they do the same type of exit liquidity. The last two earnings, it moved like shit though. That one 3 quarters ago, that was absolutely massive. So I'll be looking at Avgo. I'm not gonna probably be touching Meta. If I play any tech, it's gonna be Microsoft. A lot of crazy ass Tesla again. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, you can only sell this to me. I'll play it when it goes. Like, yes, you got a daily 21 crossing the 200. When's the last time you had that? You had it there. What happened? It fucking failed. This shit's been at the same price ever since May, and we've had some good plays on it, but it's just never taken off. We saw a lot of LMT buying. That's probably because that one country killed that other country's prime minister. I'm not gonna say anything about that. UPST hit our price target of 76. Ding, and came down. That is also, you know, part of financials that is curling down. So if they want to bring the market higher, they need to bring these tech names higher. And what would be better than on Apple's event on 9/9, rip Apple back closer to its all-time high, right? Friday we saw a MOC sell. The trend, however, was green. What else? Hood is in this falling, not Hood, BMNR is in this falling wedge, waiting on crypto to take off. Still a pretty decent setup if the 200 right there can save it. Speaking of Hood, because I want to possibly play it. Here, I do like this setup because it's been basing in this area. It's gonna be a really big name going forward. I like that it's held here while it's killed off the daily stow, and it has hit the 50. Let's see if it feels this week, but has upside potential here short term. So those are the names I'm predominantly looking for. So just to recap, possibly shorting the banks, and possibly, if the market is good, playing tech names. I still, last week I was really stoked about what's it called, Netflix, and if Friday is a big fake out, this thing still has potential to explode, but they need to do it soon, otherwise I don't know if you can hold it here until Friday and then rip it, but we'll keep an eye on it because it was kind of fun to trade and the premiums were pretty ridiculous to trade. Now anyways, so the calendar, right? What do we got? It is Saturday night. Monday we got nothing going on. Now this could obviously influence the market as well as this whole BRICS coalition meeting, so we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully it's cool, that'd be more fun. ISM manufacturing PMI 30 minutes in, so planning on Tuesday not to do anything until this, right? And then I will probably just lay low. And if you're new, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be September, which is the toughest month to trade, and I just don't want anybody blowing up their shit, so we're gonna be a little bit extra cautious. Wednesday, JOLTS openings, okay? It's a lot of jobs openings. That's gonna move the market. Then we got some Fed speakers. Who knows what happens in the shit show? I don't know Trump's personal calendar yet. Thursday you get jobs, blah 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 blah. ISM services PMI gonna move the market. And then on Friday is the big one, which is non-farm payroll. Okay, and you also get I guess that's it. Yeah, non-farm payroll, which is gonna be the big one. Now, let's just quickly see here a couple of things. One being where next week's gamma is. Whoops, hold on. Just bear with me real quick. And I trade a lot based on gamma. So let's just quickly take a look. There we go. So for Monday the 3rd, gamma levels, and when I post my gamma levels, do know that green repels price and red is the pull, and I do not think we get up there, but we're here, right? So again, we're gonna keep an eye on that Friday low level, okay? Obviously if it gaps underneath there, then it'll sail down to there. Is that 6? Yeah, I mean, it needs to kind of hold on Monday, guys. Tuesday, what do we got? I don't like that. That means that they could pull the plug on the whole shit. So for Tuesday, we kind of no, actually Monday's closed, so that is, hold on, Yeah. Okay, so this is Wednesday, not Tuesday. So Wednesday looks like the bottom could fall out unless you for some reason are rocking all-time highs, which seems unlikely. Thursday looks like this area would hold. Then we wouldn't be trading off of that. And how are they positioned for Friday? I mean, it's a really wide range. So, just saying. Biggest gigs positioning for next Friday is that of 640. So we gotta kind of keep an eye on this real time, which I do anyways all the time, by just looking at this. And this was the closing gigs. Obviously we closed right here, so that's the downside. Looks like we're not gonna break through it too easy on that. Here is the earnings next week. Calls maybe, puts on yoga pants. I can't see how that is, doing well. Salesforce, AI, maybe Zscaler, obviously not in Neo, but those are the main earnings for next week. So summa summarum, we will see how Tuesday opens. We got our levels, we're gonna play that. Best case scenario, the bestest of the best would be if we don't lose this trend line on ES, which starts right there, hits that low, and then hits right there, saves it again. Best case is we don't lose this. You can draw it in, put on your alarm underneath it. I would short the shit out of the market. If it holds, I would buy calls on a bounce and then play it against this trend line. So that's the market analysis for this 4-day trading week coming up. God bless you guys. I'll be on for open and close, unless shit gets wild and I'm just on. Okay, so that type of week, mixed signals. We got early high every single day. God bless, guys.